Hello, Morgan Brigg from the University of Queensland, currently at the Centre for Global Cooperation Research in Germany. One of the key challenges I think we face on this question of engaging with non-state actors is the challenge of our own ways of thinking about forms of political community and also of the forms of analysis we use to engage at the local level. Even the way the whole session is framed in terms of the question of state and non-state actors. And I think in a way we're held hostage to this idea of the state. So much of what we think about in all of our shared fields owes a lot to that term and to a whole series of categories that are linked to it. We tend to think of ourselves in terms of methodological individualism and we think of our political involvement and engagement in terms of rights and democracy, and we think of linked to that the dominant form of political community as the state. But around the globe there are just a whole range of other ways of conceiving of and bringing about political community, managing conflict and so on. And I think one of the big challenges we face is we struggle to really seriously acknowledge and engage those other ways of thinking about political community, managing conflict and so on. Now of course, when we go to do some of that acknowledgement, it gets incredibly messy, and I think a lot of the complexity that we currently are engaging with in our fields is linked to the difficulty or the problem we have with acknowledging this other ways of organising political community and so on. To be sure, once you make the acknowledgement, it doesn't become easy, but by being a little bit more honest about the forms of peace, the forms of political community that we are trying to propagate, then there's a possibility of opening up conversations and having negotiations about what can work and can be practical in particular settings.